Hi, I'm Eleanor and welcome to MotorMatters, the channel that brings you the latest, the greatest, the newest, the best, and sometimes the best deals as well. What am I talking about right now today? Well, this is a bit of a special test, not one of our usual test reviews, because it's brought to us and the car's kindly loaned to us by Arnold Chatz Cars in Constantia Kloof in Johannesburg. Citroën C3 Aircross. Now, I've tested them a lot lately. We've had them on, in fact, I had one on test very recently. But this is the entry model to the Aircross range called the Plus. Powered by a 1.2-litre 3-cylinder non-turbo engine, 60 kilowatts, 115 newton meters of torque, 5-speed manual gearbox driving the front wheels. You have a look at the front end. Of course, you've got this Citroën chevron over here. Very, very clear. And you've got this sort of clamshell bonnet showing you what it is over here. You've got daytime running lights even. You can see very neat front end over here. And of course, you've got a bit of cladding down at the bottom under the doors. You get steel wheels with plastic covers on this model. They are 16 inches, so nothing wrong with that. I think it's pretty normal, pretty standard. And you get the semblance of a roof rack over there as well, but just looks a little bit like it. Now, at this level, you obviously have to press a button on a key and you use a key to start the engine, but I don't think that's an issue. What is nice about this car is, for example, driver's seat set for myself, as you always expect, and look at the space, look at the legroom. It really is impressive. Headroom, more than enough for me as well. And you even get 2 USBs for the back seat. Those are features that I think are really important and you don't necessarily expect at the price of this car, especially the deals that are going right now. Cloth interior, neat looking cloth on the doors, for example. Features like that throughout the car. Come around to the rear end. Let's have a look as we come around. You even get a little spoiler over the rear tailgate. I'm afraid to say you have to use your muscles to open the tailgate. Lift it right up. There is a bit of a high lip over here, but that's no big deal. But look at the size of the boot. Quoted at over 400 litres. And when we do the Allen test, as you expect me to do for you, and the new version of Allen test, we give that board in place. And you know what? This is very close to a 2 Allen boot. Very, very close, which in a little crossover SUV is pretty exceptional. Now, oopsie, little bit of a lift, a bit of PT to get out because of the higher lip over there, but that's really something I could live with. 1.2 litres, 60 kilowatts, 115 newton meters. I've told you all of that. 5-speed manual. Big feature, 6 airbags. Even at this end and level. That's something you want to know about because you want your family to be safe. So let's check it on the road and let's have a little look inside. On the road, the Aircross is so typical of small 3-cylinder engines. What I mean, well, listen to this. You up the rev slightly, you get that buzziness and a slight boom, but that's more from the body shape, I think. But nothing that is undue, nothing that's unpleasant. And I have to tell you, we even took it on our run to Harties. I didn't film it this time because the weather wasn't good. But we did do that as I'm busy doing my 3-point turn spot. And look at that, we do the turn easily, so it's got a nice tight turning circle. But what I was saying was that on the open road, it still cruises very comfortably, very pleasantly at the speed limit. It can handle it all day long, no problem. And around town, of course, light, easy. The clutch is light, the gear shift is light. You got a chunky little steering wheel over here. It feels nice in my hands. It's all those features that make this a nice little driver's car. 3 cylinders, yes, you've got to rev them a little bit to wring a bit of performance out when you want to push on and go a little bit, but it's not unpleasant in any way. That's what I'm trying to say to you. So it really doesn't matter. You look at the interior here, yes, you've got cloth on the seats, you've got things like that, but you've got a nice two-tone to the dashboard, Look at that to the front fascia, which looks neat again. Got a nice big infotainment screen. It does lack a reverse camera, which is something I would have liked, but it's not necessary in a smaller car, but just mentioning it to you. It even has wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, or you can use a cable, your choice. Instrumentation in front of me is minimal, but it's digital and works fine. It tells you what you really need to know, so I'm quite happy with that. And you've got a couple of little buttons on the steering wheel, nothing much, but what you need, put it that way. So it's all there. Manual air conditioning, but I can tell you it works. It's effective air conditioning, and that's again all you can ask for. Below that, you've got one USB, and you've got a 12 volt, and you've got a nice storage spot there for your cell phone, which of course with wireless Android or Apple CarPlay is a nice thing to have, and cup holders, etc. This is a manual gear shift, although when I first saw it I thought it was actually an auto shift, but it fits nicely in my hand, effective, and as I said, the 5-speed manual is light, easy, effective, and works very, very nicely. So overall, it's a nice, light, easy, what I'll call a town car, city car. Give it whichever name you want, it doesn't matter. Which is capable of doing the open road as well. And isn't that what you really want? It may not sound the most powerful in the world at 60 kilowatts and 115 Newton meters, but it does the job, and it does it nicely. And of course, it's got a little bit of the 4-inch personality to it, which you expect from all Citroens, don't you? The point being, while you can get this at $229,900 instead of $274,900, the list price or the retail price, really, what else compares? Get another crossover SUV that comes close. I challenge you to find that. So while the deals are available, biggest bargain in town, but even at normal prices, let me tell you, I think this car is certainly worth a look in any segment.